All right, guys, I'm going to talk about the Charlie Kirk assassination. That is a whole huge, deep rabbit hole, and there's a lot of smoke there and maybe some fire. But I'm going to focus on one thing, and what I'm going to share with you blew my mind. It made me question everything else in it. And all I'm going to talk about today is the rifle that was used or reported by the FBI as being used in the assassination. I'm going to tell you a couple facts about the rifle, and I'm going to tell you why I don't think it could have been fired in the configuration that the FBI claims it was found in. And that makes me question everything. So take a look at this, guys. All right, so what we have here is the Tyler Robinson rifle as reported by the FBI. Picture was posted in the New York Post, but it was in fact released to them by the FBI. This is the Mauser 98 that was supposedly used in the assassination. Now, what I'm going to show you, which I'll walk you through this is the safety on this rifle. I'm going to show you why it could not have been fired in this state and why I believe that it would have had to have been, the scope would have had to have been removed. It would have had to have been placed into safe and the scope put back on the rifle. Now, that makes me question everything involved in this. I'm going to take you through a couple more pictures. I've got a video for you that explains how the safety works, and this should make you question everything. Check out this little video about how the safety works, and I'm going to take you through some diagrams.
For the purpose of the video, I'm going to show you that the rifle is unloaded, okay? And let's talk about the safety. The safety can only be engaged when the bolt is cocked, meaning this cocking piece is set back. It's actually resting on the sear right now. And the normal safety function is when you flip it up and it locks in its first position, it actually pushes back the cocking piece, right, and moves it off of the sear, at which point you're not going to be able to fire the rifle, okay? But the bolt can still be opened. In its full safe position, which is the second position here, or I guess the third position if you count the fire position first, the trigger still doesn't function, and in this full safe position, the bolt cannot be opened, okay?
All right, guys. That video shows you that when the safety is, it's a thumb flip safety. When it is flipped to the left, that is the fire position. When it's raised to the top, that is also a safe position. It locks out the trigger, but allows the bolt to be activated or actuated. Flip to the right is the safety position. Neither the trigger nor the bolt can be operated in that position. To clarify that for you just a little more, I'm going to take you to an image from a Mauser manual. Put on my spectacles. That's not what I'm looking for. There we go. All right, guys. This, from left to right, that is in a safe position. Neither the trigger nor the bolt can be actuated or activated. The straight up and down position, the trigger is locked, but you can still open and close the bolt. You can still actuate the bolt. To the left is the full fire position. Okay? You could actuate both the bolt and the trigger. This is a cock on opening bolt. So it actually cocks the rifle when you open the bolt. which could be done in this position, but the trigger wouldn't allow it to fire. In this position, you wouldn't be able to open the bolt to begin with. So, pretty simple. The first image is in the safe position. The rifle cannot be fired. The middle position is also a safe position, and the trigger could not be activated, so the rifle could not be fired. To the left is the only position of the thumb switch safety in which the rifle can actually be fired. Now, if you go back to that New York Times pic that was released by the FBI, and we look at this, folks, that is a thumb switch safety in the safe position. It couldn't be fired. It wouldn't clear the scope. There's not enough room. That's a pretty long thumb switch. You wouldn't be able to throw that safety into the fire position with that scope attached. And that is a fact, guys. So, how do you get there from there? Now, I do want to clarify, a lot of guys, when upgrading these to sporterize them to make them better hunting rifles, because although the design's from 1909, it's World War I, they're a solid rifle. You can upgrade the barrel and the stock and put a scope on it, but you're going to want to update the safety, because to have a large reticled scope on it, like Tyler Robinson had on this rifle, on his grandpa's rifle, he couldn't actuate the safety. Now, if that safety had been in the left position, the fire position, that rifle would have functioned as required to fire that shot. But in the safe position to the right, it cannot. If you had an aftermarket safety, which those are vertical, there are 3 position switch that goes from a safe position to a middle position, like the vertical on the switch, and then the forward, which would be your fire position. That way it's going to clear your fancy hunting scope there. So, let's go back and look at that other picture one more time. I want to make sure we're clear about what we're talking about. All right. The FBI said this was found and wrapped in a towel in the bushes. And we can go a little further down the rabbit hole. Minus the fact that in this configuration, this rifle couldn't have been fired, their claim is that he disassembled it on the roof of the building, which may or may not have allowed the safety to be switched over. And I've got a video of a guy breaking it down, but it's not the exact same rifle, so you really can't judge the safety. Epstein, Israel, cutting Social Security. There we go.
Charlie Kirk was shot at approximately 12:23 and 30 seconds p.m. Surveillance video reportedly shows the suspect running across the roof and reaching the edge, where he dropped to the ground at approximately 12:24 p.m.
Okay, so we're supposed to believe this kid broke down this rifle after taking the shot, put it in that backpack, and exited the roof in 30 seconds. We watched a guy break one down on a workbench. It took him 43 seconds. So could it be done in 30 seconds? Possibly, but not while you're running off a roof. So, once again, it comes down to the rifle. The condition it was found in, he would have had to reassemble the rifle, including remounting the scope. And I'm sorry, I can't believe that an assassin who has planned this out is going to escape into the woods with the murder weapon and then reassemble it, but leave it wrapped in a towel in the woods. And I still don't know if that possibly could even explain the safety where the weapon couldn't have been fired in the condition they claim to find it in. So,
mandatory spending. That's your entitlement programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and then things like Social Security. They have to be adjusted and fixed. We have a plan to do that next year. We've been doing all that. And then we're going to lead up.
Sorry, little Mike Johnson talking about how he's going to cut your Social Security and Medicare because we can't afford that. Because we're spending all our money on a war in Iran that nobody but Israel and the industrial war machine wanted. Sorry, a little off track. I don't know if any of that recorded right. This is all new technology. So, very easily conclude that rifle could not have been fired in the configuration that they claim it was found in. He would have had to have broke it down on the roof in less than a minute while moving, got it into his backpack, jumped off the roof, made it to the bushes, reassembled the rifle, maybe removing and putting the scope back on it somewhere in the process for that safety position to be in the safe position, but he having fired that shot earlier. So something's rotten in Denmark. It doesn't add up. It doesn't look like from the picture that the FBI released that rifle could have fired that shot in that configuration. Let me know in the comments. But I'm 99.9% sure I'm right on this one. Too much weird stuff going on that it's hard to keep track. There's something weird about this rifle, and that means there's something weird about the whole situation with Charlie Kirk. There's a lot to that rabbit hole, but hopefully I've proved my point about the rifle, and that'll make you question everything else. These are facts about that rifle. These are facts, publicly released facts by the FBI, printed in the New York Post that was the rifle. So this isn't my opinion. I believe this is a fact that rifle couldn't have been fired in that configuration. And whether you like it or not, that is the truth as I know it, guys. Please like and subscribe. I've got a little more material getting ready to come out. God bless you and God bless America, man.
You go, boy.
I love you, Wilson.